It's a case that has countless twists and turns, and the most recent twist has prompted authorities to charge millionaire Robert Durst with first-degree murder. That decision came after a crucial moment in HBO's documentary Jinx, when Durst, having finished an interview but still wearing an open microphone, makes what seems to be a very incriminating statement.
What the hell did I do? Kill them all, of course.
Let's bring in our legal guys, Avery Friedman, a civil rights attorney and law professor in New York this week, and Richard Herman, a New York criminal defense attorney and law professor, joining us from Las Vegas. All right, good to see both of you.
Good to see you, Frederick.
Okay, so Avery, you first. Do those muttered remarks by Durst, spoken into a hot mic, neutralize two-party consent rule in California?
Well, that's a rule in California where both parties have to consent. I don't think it applies at all. The fact is, it's an unfettered stream of consciousness. It's exactly what prosecutors are looking for. This is an admission. It's going to be part of the evidence. The only challenge, I think, the prosecutors are going to be facing here is how much weight is the jury going to assign that admission? And I think that rises or falls in terms of where this case is going.
But then, Richard, what is this about? You know, HBO was working with police to some degree, and if that is the case, can his defense argue entrapment, that the mic was intentionally not turned off when he went to the bathroom?
Well, the argument could be, is HBO actually an agent of the government? But Fred, it's almost a bar exam question whether that statement is admissible or not. You have issues of authenticity. You know, it was made 2 years ago, maybe more than 2 years ago. Chain of custody on that. Was it a knowing waiver by him, which obviously it was? It's hearsay. Does the probative value of it exceed the prejudicial value? Ultimately, that's a determination a judge will make. I think it's admissible. But even if it is admissible, Fred, this is not going to make a first-degree murder conviction, this recording. The defense will have a heyday on this, a heyday on it.
Because we're still talking about the same evidence. We have not heard anything about any new physical evidence. Still no DNA, right, in large part, and so it's still mostly circumstantial? Right. So why would this admission make a difference, or how could it make a difference?
I say it does not make a difference, Fred. I think law enforcement is frustrated, and when they get frustrated, they jump and make mistakes. This is ridiculous. There's no way they get a conviction off this, or the letter, the envelope, by the way, which, you know, if you look at the handwriting, you can make a determination that it's different. And a lot of people outside the state of California.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
It's different. Look at the E's. Just look at the E's. They're not the same. You know, people don't know Beverly outside the state of California.
You're not an expert in this stuff. You're gonna get an exemplar, a handwriting expert who's going to look at it, and I think it does look very similar. I think it's
very similar is one thing.
There is no getting around. There's no getting around the reality of that admission. You're right. It is getting in. And as I say, this case doesn't turn on anything other than a jury either accepting or rejecting the weight of that admission. And it's the most important thing prosecutors
But then, Avery, isn't all the other evidence or lack thereof, wouldn't that weigh more than this admission or whatever you want to call it?
Well, it is an admission, and you know, let me tell you something.
It's
if you're
not
defending
an admission.
the case, if you're defending the case, you're going to raise issues. You're going to raise issues of weight. The judge is going to let it in. You're going to deal with issues, for example, of DNA. I mean, this guy's a convicted felon. They've got DNA evidence all over the place. Whether they can apply it here, we don't know right now. But frankly, if I were prosecuting, I'd like to move forward on the case.
So has he even proven that he is very clever, and that maybe that muttering or whatever that was just to kind of add fuel to the fire, and he may have been playing everybody? You know, I mean, and that this is just another page of cleverness.
The defense will say it's part of a theatrical performance on a recording, a documentary being done by HBO, and that's the vein it was done in. Fred, there are serious questions on the probable cause of the first-degree murder charges based on this, Fred. They got a long way to go. California better have more than this recording and the writing samples. They better have more, or they're going to get laughed out of court, and he'll get another victory.
Oh my gosh. And then, okay, we're going to talk more about this because we're not done, and that's why you guys are going to stick around with this for a few more minutes to talk more about this. And just a reminder, HBO is owned by Time Warner, and that is CNN's parent company as well. So, the FBI now putting
With
out
all
this,
due respect, Fred.
with all due respect, full disclosure. So,
Whatever.
Hey, watch it. All right, so the FBI now putting out this nationwide call for investigators in so many states to re-examine their cold cases to see if any way there's a connection to Durst. We're going to talk about that and much more with our legal eagles. They're the best. We'll be right back.